Good day and welcome back to Autoworld 4x4. If you're getting ready to go on a trip, away for a long weekend, school holidays, this video is for you. Alright, so we're going to run through what do you check on your vehicle, what do you need to be aware of before you embark on a journey on a long highway or into the middle of nowhere where you're going to need to be quite self-sufficient. So we're going to run through recovery gear, fluids under the hood, and then external things, tires, tire pressure, tire wear, and then your suspension components, looking for leaks or anything out of the ordinary, and then lights, trailer plugs, etc. Let's get to it. Okay, so first things first, most commonly you're going to want to make sure your vehicle obviously has fuel. So fill up, make sure you do it before, just so you've got peace of mind, and then you know it's done, you're ready to go. And then coming into the heart of this beast, the engine. So what we're going to look at under the hood, primarily your radiator overflow tank, your brake fluid, your windscreen washer fluid, and then your transmission fluid and the engine oil, obviously. So this vehicle's been running, so I'm not going to open the radiator because it's going to be pressurized and probably going to blow up in my face, and I have a nice face, so not today. But you can check the overflow tank, because if that's keeping its level, you know that the radiator is okay, because otherwise there would be a disparity. It would be sucking out of the overflow tank and trying to fill the radiator. So as soon as you can see your fluid on your overflow tank, you know it's there. If not, pop it open, fill it up to the level. If you know what fluids go in there, if it's a premix, make sure you use the same one. It's just a good habit. Next thing, your brake fluid. It normally looks like a double bottle, and your levels will normally be on the top bottle. So you just want to make sure where it says max, you can see this line from where the camera is. You want to make sure it's up to there. All good. If it is really low, automatically that's got to make you suspect something. When you're underneath, you want to have a look at your brake lines and just make sure there is no substance on the beads, because then you know you might have sprung a leak or there's another issue. Take it to a professional or service center, have them clear it, because when you're moving at high speed you need to stop, and if you're going down a really steep hill you need to stop. Next, your windscreen washer fluid. A lot of people neglect this, they don't think it's important, but if you've been to the same parts of the bush I have, when you drive through that swarm of butterflies, you can see nothing. You want to make sure that fluid's full and you can wash your windscreen. And then most importantly, what keeps the heart of this running, your engine oil. Always have a piece of cloth nearby, it's so useful. Make sure you pop it. This engine's been running for a while, so it's hot, so I want to check. Cool, levels are good, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with double checking, especially when it's hot and you know the oil's expanded a bit. So use two hands to guide the rod in. It just stops it bending and curling. Wait for the click, check it again. 2 out of 2. I'm happy, I'm confident. Make sure it clicks, you know no dust is getting in there. Alright, quick and easy. Under the hood, should not take you very long. Nice and simple. Let's get to the outside of the car. Alright, when you're checking the outside, we're focusing primarily on the tires, suspension, rear diffs, if you can get it lifted, and then always give your snorkel a stroke. It's a good habit. Okay, so what are we looking for with tires? You want to make sure that there's no abnormal wear. So basically when you look at it, everything should look like it's worn quite easily. If this side is looking a lot lower, or if you can start to see wires popping out, you have a big problem. You want to check inside wear versus outside wear. You want to check the center line, because that'll tell you if you're running your tires with too much air pressure. And then check if your wheel weights are on the outside. You want to make sure they're there. If they're on the inside, make sure they're there. You'll see a gap in the dust buildup. You know wheel weight has come off. Your balancing is going to be an issue. Get it in quickly. It's a 5-minute job, and you know you're just not going to get any steering wheel wobble at high speed. Then going under, what do we want to look for? So when you see moisture in these, particularly if it's a hot dry day like it is today, it's unlikely that it's going to be water. Both with the wind and the ambient temperature, water will pretty much be gone. So if something looks a bit damp, it's probably residue from shock fluid or brake fluid or suspension components leaking a bit of grease. So you want to have a good look. You want to make sure that your steering components, all your boots on your CVs, they're not torn and throwing grease everywhere. You want to look at your strut or your shock at the back and make sure that there's no residue that looks like it's running down, because then you've got a leak that you want to get sorted. And then you just want to check all your ball joints and make sure that there's nothing damp or anything around them, that everything's in good condition. If it's not, get into your dealership, get into your mechanic, get them to just verify it, and if you need to change it, obviously change it. But it's a quick look. It's pretty much all what you can see, and if anything looks out of the ordinary, use your cloth, check if it comes off. If it's a consistency you're not used to, get it into someone who does. Next, for your own safety and the safety of all motorists behind you, particularly at high speed on freeways or motorways, you want to do a test. So just put your ignition on or start the vehicle, but most you don't need to. The ignition is fine, and just make sure right indicators, left indicators, reverse lights, brake lights, that they're all working. It is much easier done if you can get someone to be in there and you can call out right, left, etc. But it's not impossible to do yourself. And then on that, once you know the vehicle's clear, if you have a trailer, hook it all up. Good practice. Make sure your chain is there. Make sure it is solidly on. And then when you do your electrics, just check the cable for any wear. If you see that it's eaten through or it's fraying anywhere, get some tape on it or take it to someone and get it sorted. And then when you put it in, make sure it's all the way in so that this guy hooks on and keeps it there, because when the road is bumpy, that's when it's what's going to keep it on. When you've done that, redo your light check, right, left, etc., and make sure that the trailer is obviously doing the same thing. If not, get it in, get the wire in fixed, because you might know where you're going, you might know where you're turning, but the people behind you won't. I know some women think men can read minds, but we can't. Same thing on the road. All right, and then we mentioned earlier recovery gear. It is important, even if you're going on an expedition with other people, you want to always make sure that you are self-sufficient, because you're not always going to have something to winch off. If you go to Wangi, there's sections where the trees there are so skinny and in such shallow ground, a winch will pull it straight out. So how do you get yourself out of these situations? There's some essentials you can take, and you know you're safe. Just a side note, look at that red D-Max in the sun. That is beautiful. Okay, look at me now. All right, so here we've got the basics. Your Rico tracks or recovery boards, basically they're going to create a surface for you to grip. So if you're in mud or sand or you're just bogged in some horrible area, put these under the tire. You can see here the ramp. It's going to come up here, it's going to bite these, and it's going to create momentum going forward. These Ironman ones are incredibly well thought out. They've got multiple mounting points, and you can put them in tandem, and you can use this end as a shovel. So if you need to dig out the front tire and you need a longer runway, you can put one onto another. That side is elevated, so it's smooth and connected, and now you've got 2-3 meters to gain momentum, and you're probably going to get out. Worst case scenario, you do it in a couple legs and you'll definitely be out. But all you need is yourself, the willingness to get a little bit dirty, and you'll be absolutely fine to get out of the bog. Straps and things, you can see here, this kit's probably got more experience than most people in the country. So you've got your shackles to take the load, and then you've got a winch extension strap or a tow strap, so it's constant tension, which is very different to your snatch straps, which are elastic, which you use to really get you out, but it's one big pull, and then you want to take the tension off the strap. You've got a bridle to distribute the force between your shackles, and a bag to keep it all together. I recommend a pair of leather gloves, because you're going to be dealing with things that get hot, things that are moving quick. It's best to just look after your hands. You're always going to need them. And that's about it. You're really not going to need much more. If you've got a winch, go watch our winch video and how to use that. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. You can do that. Like I said, a little bit of willingness to get dirty and be adventurous. You can get yourself out, no problem. Right, so you should be self-sufficient now to just check your vehicle, be comfortable, have peace of mind that your vehicle is going to be absolutely fine on a long trip or in a rough area, because all you want is you want to get on the road, you want to enjoy the drive. I absolutely love long drives and long road trips, clears the head. You want to get to the bush, you want to get to your destination, you want to be able to just unpack, chill, know that the game drive tomorrow vehicle is going to be up to standard, it's going to perform, so that when you're there you can enjoy the bush, enjoy the birds, enjoy the animals, enjoy your hard work, free time, and most importantly, enjoy a cold beer or two.